Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Do you ever wonder how the top 1% manage their money? Why some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others live paycheck to paycheck? Well, it's not luck or a secret stock pick, it's how they think about their money, especially when it comes to budgeting. Let's break down the budgeting styles used by high earners and millionaires, including some rules you've heard of and a few you probably haven't. And then we're going to walk through the one habit they all have in common, the one that separates the wealthy from everyone else. If you're ready to start managing your money like the top 1%, let's get to it. Let's start by looking at the most popular budgeting frameworks. Each of them can work. The key is finding the one that works for you. Let's start with one of the most popular beginner-friendly methods out there, the 50-30-20 rule. This rule breaks your monthly take-home pay into three distinct categories. 50% towards your needs, so think housing, transportation, food. 30% towards the things that make life enjoyable and fun, and 20% towards saving, investing, and paying down debt. Let's say you're working with $5,000 as take-home pay. That would look like $2,500 towards needs, $1,500 for wants, and $1,000 going directly toward your future, whether that's retirement, your emergency fund, or credit card payoff. This rule is great for someone in a moderate cost of living situation who wants a really balanced approach. It's structured enough that we ensure to check that savings box, but flexible enough that hopefully you get to enjoy life today. And because these categories are so broad and easy to remember, it makes it really beginner friendly, and it's one of the first steps that people tend to use when they try to tackle their budget. The 60-30-10 rule, this one is a twist on the 50-30-20 rule, but with more room for the essentials. This allocates 60% towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 10% towards savings. So if we have a $5,000 monthly income, here's what it would look like. Here we would have $3,000 for needs. Perhaps you live in a high cost of living area. This leaves more room in your budget for things like more expensive rent. Then we have $1,500 for wants and $500 for saving. This rule is great for people who are living in those high cost of living areas because it leaves more room for the essentials. It does still have savings on the radar though. It's not as aggressive when it comes to wealth building, but it still keeps that habit going. And as your income increases over time, you can slowly expand your savings category if you're able to, going from say 10% to maybe 15 or 20% down the road. Next, we have the 70-20-10 rule. This one is less about rigid categories and more about overall balance and values. Here's how this one breaks down. 70% goes towards all of your spending. Whether that is wants or needs, they're all lumped in to one category. 20% goes towards saving and investing, and 10% goes towards debt repayment. So what would this look like with a $5,000 income? $3,500 covers everything from rent to groceries to fun. $1,000 goes towards saving and investing, and $500 could go towards charitable giving or tackling a student loan. This can be a really great approach for people who want to have more flexibility with their budget, who want to prioritize paying off debt, or who want to prioritize giving. It doesn't really break everything down into specific categories, but focuses on big picture. And again, for those families who are faith-based and really focus on giving back 10% of their earnings, this can be a really great approach. Next, we have the 80-20 rule. It is simple, clean, and effective. This one says you get to spend 80% of your income and save 20%. It doesn't really get simpler than that. With a $5,000 monthly budget, you'd get to spend $4,000 however you choose and save and invest $1,000. This is really great for people who don't want to overthink it. They just want to make sure they're checking that saving and investing box. They're hitting that golden target of 20%. And the rest of their money, they can do whatever they want with. And because this is such a simple approach, you can really just automate it and then never think about it again. You set up an automatic withdrawal from your savings to perhaps your investment account or wherever you want your savings to go, and then you're set. And then we have the 30-30-30-10 rule. This one is far more structured and built for the ambitious. You divide your income into 30% towards housing, 30% to other needs, 30% towards financial goals, and 10% for fun. With $5,000 a month, $1,500 each would go towards rent or a mortgage, then things like food, insurance, and transportation, and again, $1,500 towards saving, investing, or paying down debt. That final $500, that would be your guilt-free fun money. This method is really perfect for those who want to save aggressively and are trying to reach financial independence at a young age. Keep in mind, your fun budget is sort of capped, but that is coming at the cost of reaching financial independence earlier. It is an aggressive approach, but if you can keep your lifestyle in check, this could be a fit for you. Then we have a zero-based budget. This one is great for the detail lovers. With a zero-based budget, you start with your $5,000 income or whatever your income is, and then assign every single dollar a job until nothing is unaccounted for. Here's what that breakdown might look like. $1,700 to rent, $500 to groceries, $200 to gas, then we have utilities and insurance, savings in a Roth IRA, then money towards an emergency fund, and credit card payments, and travel, and giving, and then $1,000 perhaps spread across all of your sinking funds and upcoming expenses. This is really ideal for people who want clarity and control, or for people who have variable income. It really helps to curb emotional spending when every dollar is given a job. If this is a style you like, you probably want to use something like You Need a Budget or YNAB or a spreadsheet. Those are going to become your best friends. And finally, we have the anti-budget or pay yourself first. This is the millionaire method in disguise. You don't track every category, you don't build spreadsheets, you just do one thing. You save first, and then you spend the rest however you want. So with a $5,000 a month budget, maybe you decide to save $1,500 or more, depending on whatever your savings rate is, and then the other $3,500, that is yours to spend however you would like, no judgment, no rules. This one is really great for those who have strong self-awareness and really decent incomes, because once you set that saving and investing amount, that amount just goes in and you're quietly building wealth in the background. And this is what a lot of high earners do. They don't really focus on how much they're saving because they know it's happening every single month in the background, and then they go on and live their life and spend however they choose day to day. Every one of these budgeting styles may look different on the surface, but they all have one critical thing in common. They sort of reverse engineer how we tend to think about money. Most people tend to approach it from the stance of, okay, I'll spend first and then whatever is left over, I'll save. Instead, the wealthy or the top 1% say, I'm going to save X amount first and then I'll spend whatever is left over. They have a dedicated, intentional savings and investing category in their budget. It is not optional, it is built in. That's the secret. That's the golden rule, that you're setting aside a fixed percentage of your income every single month, and it's going towards saving and investing and building your future. That is what 99% of people generally don't do, but it's what the 1% people do. Your savings and investing category, this isn't just where money sits. This is where wealth is made. Wealthy people treat saving and investing like a strategy. If you were to look under the hood, there isn't just one savings account. Instead, there's a whole system. There's a portfolio built with purpose, and there tends to be about 4 buckets. So let's dive in. First off, we have the emergency fund. This is your financial safety net. For both millionaires and everyday savers, this is step 1 in building durable wealth. It doesn't just keep you afloat, it protects your entire wealth building strategy. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent SHED report, 1/3 of Americans said they would struggle to cover a $400 emergency using cash or savings. That is not a budgeting issue, that's a wealth building roadblock. And if you don't have any margin in your budget, you aren't able to take advantage of opportunities when they come. Or when an emergency does happen, you may be forced to take on high interest debt, which quickly erodes everything you're working towards. Here's what wealthy people do different. They don't just aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses, they tend to layer their emergency funds. They have 1 month that is ultra liquid. Maybe it's in their checking account. The rest is in high yield savings, CDs, T-bills, or I-bonds, or money market funds, letting the cash work while it waits. Really, they right-size their risk. A teacher with good job stability might only need 3 months of expenses in an emergency fund. However, a freelancer or a single income earning household might need 9 months or more. And really, they view this emergency fund as part of a broader overall risk management system, alongside insurance and asset protection. Treat your emergency fund like an insurance policy for your investments. When the market drops or when life hits hard, this fund allows you to stay invested. This fund really buys you time, choice, and calm, which are all incredibly precious in moments of chaos. Next up, we have retirement accounts. These are the power tools of tax-advantaged growth, and the one and only place where the government actually rewards you for saving. Here we have the 401k, IRA, 403b, TSP, HSA. If you qualify, there are a vast number of accounts to choose from. And these aren't just accounts. These are legal tax shelters that accelerate your wealth building. Let's take the Roth IRA. If you contribute $6,500 a year from age 25 to 55 and earn an 8% average return, that would grow to over $736,000 by the age of 55. But you only contributed $195,000. The rest, nearly $540,000, is growth. And in the Roth, that's 100% tax-free. According to Fidelity's 2023 retirement analysis, the average 401k millionaire didn't time the market. They just saved consistently, took the employer match, let compounding do its thing, and never panic sold. So here's what the wealthy do. They optimize their tax treatment. During their lower income earning years, they take advantage of the Roth. Then they get tax-free growth, and this money gets to come out tax-free later. During their higher income earning years, they take advantage of the traditional, and they get that tax deduction now. They make sure to never leave an employer match behind. That is free money. That's not optional. If they have a dip in their income years, maybe it's an early retirement, maybe it's a transition between jobs, they take advantage of doing a Roth conversion during this time. And many high earners leverage the mega backdoor Roth through after-tax 401k contributions, a move that can add tens of thousands per year to tax-free growth. The 1% don't just look at retirement accounts as something to save now and spend later. Instead, they look at it as a tax optimization chessboard where every move is intended to minimize lifetime taxes. They know that the Roth is a gift from Uncle Sam. Tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals, that's pretty rare. They know when to use the traditional account to lower their tax burden today, and they know the real magic isn't just in compounding, it's compounding tax-free. And for those who are truly strategic, retirement accounts are firewalls. They protect against tax drag, creditors, and even future policy changes. They are not passive, they are planned. Next is debt repayment. Wealth isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. One of the fastest ways to sabotage your wealth building is to let interest quietly eat away at your income. As of 2025, the average credit card APR is over 20%. To put that into perspective, the S&P long-term growth is 8 to 10%. So if you're carrying credit card debt, you're essentially losing money twice as fast as you could otherwise build it. That's why paying off a credit card isn't just debt management, it's essentially an immediate 20% return. There is no legal investment that can guarantee that, but killing debt does. So what do the wealthy do differently? They completely eliminate destructive debt as early as possible. Anything like a credit card, an auto loan, any loan with any sort of ridiculous terms. And they use strategic debt to their advantage. Perhaps that's a mortgage they can write off, business or real estate leverage that produces income or equity. Debt is used as a tool, not as a trap. There is a very clear distinction between destructive debt that detracts from your future and productive debt, which helps build your future if used strategically. Think of debt as financial drag. Every dollar you owe slows down how fast you could otherwise accelerate towards your goals. High interest debt is like driving with the parking brake on. No matter how hard your engine is working, you are wasting power. Wealthy people tend to eliminate the financial drag and then floor it. Here's the twist most overlook. Eliminating debt isn't just about math. It's about momentum. When you're not weighted down by payments, you are freeing up your mental energy, your cash flows, and the confidence to take bigger and smarter risks. Finally, we have a brokerage account and freedom investments. This is one of the most under-discussed wealth building buckets and arguably one of the most powerful. It's money that's not locked up until you're 59 and a half. It is not tied to an employer. It is yours. It is flexible, it's accessible, and it's scalable. A brokerage account allows you to build passive income streams. Maybe that's through dividend investing or investing in real estate funds. It allows you to handpick your own portfolio and really use smart strategies like tax loss harvesting and capital gains timing and asset location to boost after-tax returns. And here's the kicker. According to Vanguard and Schwab, many millionaires, especially those on the FIRE path, have larger balances in brokerage accounts than in their retirement accounts. Why? Because there's no restriction on how much they can put into these funds, and perhaps they want the freedom to access this money at any time without penalty or any restrictions. So what do the wealthy do differently? They automate their investments. The minute it hits this account, it flows directly into a diversified portfolio. And importantly, they're not just saving for their future. They're also saving for sabbaticals, starting a business, taking time off to be with family, perhaps buying some real estate, or simply reaching financial independence sooner. And when the market does dip, they look at it as a buying opportunity because they've built up the emotional and financial resilience to stay the course. And critically, they don't wait until they're maxing out their 401k to start funding a brokerage account. They tend to fund both because they want the freedom to access money whenever they want to, not when the IRS says they can. Retirement accounts build wealth for later. Brokerage accounts build freedom for now. This is your yes fund. Yes to taking a year off work. Yes to walking away from a job that completely drains you. Saying yes to a job that truly lights you up, even if it pays less. Millionaires don't just chase returns, they chase opportunity. And with a traditional brokerage account, well, opportunity lives here. They may not be sexy, they don't get all the tax breaks up front, but in a world where time is the most precious thing, they give you access, and access is everything. Here are 4 wealth moves the top 1% actually use. Once you have your 4 buckets in place, here's how to supercharge them using tactics that the wealthy use behind the scenes. Number 1 is the bridge account strategy. If you want to retire early, or maybe you just want to retire before the age of 59 and a half, you want to prioritize putting something into your brokerage accounts and then backfill your retirement accounts. That way you have penalty-free access to money whenever you decide you need it, not when the IRS says it's okay. 2 is they use an HSA like a stealth IRA. Most people who have a health savings account use it to pay for doctor visits today. Millionaires, on the other hand, invest this money and then they save their receipts for decades. Then later, they use those receipts to pull out this money completely tax-free. It gave them triple tax advantage. It went in tax-free, it grew tax-free, and then it comes out tax-free, and you can use it however you wish. 3, they automate up with every raise. The wealthy don't just automate their savings, they also automate their increases. Let's say you get a raise of $500 per month. Well, maybe you increase your savings contributions by $300 and then you elevate your lifestyle by $200. That's how the wealthy scale without ever feeling a pinch. Finally, they set a freedom number. The wealthy don't just chase a net worth, they chase cash flow and choice. They ask, what amount of passive income lets me work because I want to, not because I have to? Then they reverse engineer their savings plan around that number. When people ask how millionaires became wealthy, the answer isn't luck. There was a method. They have a system with automated deposits, clear priorities, and tax strategies baked in. They fund their wealth bucket first, and only then do they figure out how to live on the rest. And if you do just this one thing, consistently investing for your future before choosing to spend on your present today, honestly, you can do whatever you want with your money. Here's why this category builds wealth. 1, it's non-negotiable. Saving is treated like rent. It must be paid. It's most often automated, so it's completely frictionless. It's diversified, spread across short-term stability and long-term growth. And finally, it's prioritized early because time in the market beats perfect timing. So save first and then build a life around that. This is the option that builds the most freedom and the most choice. So whether you like the structure of following a 50-30-20 budget, or you want the freedom that comes with an 80-20, or maybe you want to follow the anti-budget, the specific strategy you choose doesn't really matter. What matters is that you prioritize saving. And when you prioritize saving, you win. That's how you manage your money like a millionaire. And that's really how you buy yourself freedom, time, and choice. By prioritizing savings and making it a non-negotiable, you win. So now that you know what the top 1% does, you can do it too. What are your thoughts? What kind of budgeting style do you follow? What kind of savings target are you trying to hit? Share them in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.